Got some nice, some tasty sounds coming your way, and super duper long decay. Maybe too long. Here we go. All right, let's find this. Oh, that's why. Derp. Gotta get this sucker on the Wi-Fi. So I am writing some music for a show that I'm gonna be playing on the 4th. More voice volume. Got it. Got it. Let's pump it up. Go in here. Turn this up. Maybe. Let's see. Maybe that helps out. Is that better? Get this rolling here. All right. So let's see. Oh yes. Oh yes. Whoops. I'm bringing in this little bot here. No. And here we go. Oh. That is the Prophet 5. Okay, so now I should be able to see what people are saying. Okay, so I'm working on some music, and kind of the way that I have this setup going is NerdSeq controlling my modular. I've changed some voices out since the last time I was streaming about this. Right now, we still have the Dofer the A111-6, the fracture in the surface, but now we have the Instruo TSL, which is kind of like a complex oscillator, but it's not. It just has some cool stuff it can do. Going into a 24 dB ladder filter, so it's like a Moog filter, and now we have the triptych in here. The triptych is really cool. I've had a lot of fun with it. Right now I'm using it as more like a sound design tool, so it's working with this lead. But I would like to play this for a moment, wherever that just went, and see how people think it sounds. Let's give it a shot, shall we? It's kind of a tough play. Okay. Here we go. Okay. A little hot on the synth. Okay. Hot on the synth. Bada bing, huh? Hot on the synth. Always said you were hot on the synth. Turn that down a little bit. All right, that might be better. Now we are nowhere. Now we're nowhere. Cool. Let me make it so I can see chat without having to look behind me. This is not the most ideal way to do this. Because I'm probably only going to do this for like an hour, I'd say. Take me to the chat. Cool. Hello, Null Void. I like that next part though. Do you? Yeah. Who knows what's going on here? Just a little random. Oh, it's not a random kick drum. That was a flex track at one point. Yeah, so I'm on. This is about 8 minutes in of about 25 to whatever. I have about 25 to 30 minutes. So we're writing music, and I'm trying to decide what's the best workflow for this particular setup. And right now I'm using the Nerd sequencer, and what I do is I have to do these together. I'm not having program change to the Nerd sequencer. It's a wonderful sequencer, powerful, very powerful sequencer, and I'm sending a start-stop MIDI transport over to the Nerd sequencer through its newer little 2 HP MIDI module that you can get, and that is sending clock out to the Maestro, which is kind of acting as my clock divider, envelope generator, and LFO. So pretty powerful tool. Highly recommend this module. And so the voices that I have in here are the only voices that I get to write with. So in the Octatrack, I'm limited to 3 tracks for the setup that I'm using, and I'm going to keep it this way because I like confining myself into spots and seeing, being backed into a corner, so to speak, and then trying to make the most out of it. I think really makes cool music when you do that. So I'm limiting myself. I'm not trying to change a whole bunch of parts, and I'm in a second part for this next part. But yeah, so the idea will be a full resample track, a remix track that's like this random resample remix, kind of square pusher sound, kind of like I was doing last week, because I'm still writing for the same project. And because I'm limited to the same sounds, I have to find different use cases for the modules that I have. This is my voice for the music. This is my drums for the music. If it's good enough for Surgeon, yes. I agree with that comment. Surgeon does some really cool stuff. I would like to chat with that guy about music for many, many hours, I'm sure. I would enjoy that. Nothing like a good conversation about systems and workflow. It's like, I don't know. It's like one of my favorite things to talk about. But I was trying to think now that we have our update with the Octatrack, or, in the last year, we got our tempo per pattern, which opened up a lot of stuff for just using your Octatrack and not needing some of the later digiboxes, Digitac or Digitone. So now I'm kind of I can do some stuff where I don't need as many machines with me to get kind of the same features that I wanted. That's great. So now here I am with my Octatrack and my modular versus my modular being by itself, or my Octatrack being with the Digitac and Digitone, or any of that combination. I get to have this splendid, it fits on the desk. It's not too much to carry. All that kind of stuff is fun to me. It's the same reason why I think people buy an OP1. They're excited about the portability, the utility of the product. And so they're stoked. It's not necessarily that you get it because you're like, this has the best synth engines and sampling engine, although the sampling engine on the OP1 is actually really good. But you get it because you're excited that it's this wonder tool. And that's kind of what I try to get. I try and do that for myself when I'm doing these combinations of different devices. I'm very specific about what I'm putting in here because I'm thinking about these sounds that I intend to use. Jordo, what's up, dude? So I picked modules and sounds for a composition that would play to my strengths, which often is a very melodic side of things. And so I built something around that. I also like it to kind of feel like, I don't know, I grew up playing alternative rock. So my music kind of turns into this, like, what if you had a, I don't know, sometimes it's almost like a pop punk sound, but I don't think so. But that's not the kind of music I like to play or really listen to, honestly. But like a cheerful Radiohead-ish sound is what I always end up in the territory of. But because I end up using some really happy chordal moments. But that's what this one was about. This track, particularly when it goes from this right here. When it goes from this moment to this one, it makes me think of like being a kid again. It's just very much a really nostalgic sounding track to me. Hey, Devlin and Brendan Brooks, hello. And I'm just, I don't know. It's like, it was kind of an emotional, writing it is like an emotional experience because it just is so happy-ish or whatever it is. I don't know. It's like going out with your friends to the movies or something when you were like 14 years old. That's just what it makes me think of. But then you kind of just make it crazy. That's a random melody generated by the sweet old Octatrack. Sounds awesome because of the straight hi-hats. Those straight hi-hats on that remixed version are on, this is doing 16th step and they're on 16th step, so it sounds very real, like I intended it to. But it really is this. But pretty cool. I have this new scene that I made and I really like it. I'm using the filter and I'm repitching the like a 16-step version of the resampled crazy version and repitching it down basically a fifth. That's my guess here. And it's like it just like transitions really well, like it's like an intended modulation by like a group effort. You just fall right into it and you're like, okay. Like that was abrupt, but I'm okay here. It still sounds like the same music. But it is a random correlation. I keep the snare. So I'm trying to do some fun tricks like that where, because this is the kind of workflow that I do when I'm using the Digitac and Digitone in the Octatrack or whatever, or the A4 or whatever. And I'm using recording buffers to make all these weird changes and then have copies of those play. So it sounds like you wrote that into it, like it was in some automation lane that happened, because it happened exactly the same way twice. And that like really that repetition of it makes it feel like you meant to do it. And we can't hear you when you talk. It's this loud. Okay, got it. But you can hear me talk when I stop playing the music, right? I sure hope so, if I'm talking to nobody. Oh, when the rig is going. Right. Yeah, because I turned the music up. I can have that be a little bit lower. Here, let's try. So now you should be able to hear me. Hopefully better. And also, hear the music? Wow, that's awesome. Okay. This is just loud enough for me to really vibe with it. But okay, so we wrote that. I like how it is. It's decent. The only problem with this workflow that I'm identifying here that is troubling me is that when I want to move to the next song, mix is much more even. Okay, cool, thanks. You know what I hate about this is that with streaming is that this is a thing that I have to do. It's like, oh, because I'm constantly changing machines out, I have to change levels of everything all the time. And I'm always tinkering with what works the best, but it's good. Now that we're at a good spot, this is, hopefully this is the spot that people think back to 10 minutes from now. Just remember how good they got it. So now I want to make a new track. And I just grabbed, these are just like random notes. And I was thinking that I was gonna turn track 5 out of being my snare track slash, it's also my filter. It's an important track. Like it not only houses the snares, but it houses, oh man, didn't want to do that. But it houses my, my snare roll. And I like the snare roll. I use it a lot. So like I use it to transition or make things feel more alive. Like that's how a band feels to me. Like they're not just playing on the 4th beat the whole time. So if I take the snare track away, I lose my snare roll. And I don't know if I want to do that. So I might just have to keep building things the way I've been building them and just adding more one-shots to these tracks, like having these two do kick and hi-hat. That's kind of the method. But I had this idea that I wanted to sample my Prophet 5 and have that be a part of it because it's on this like beautiful piano patch. This. I'm playing it with a little key step that I have down here. And I was like, that would be a really beautiful sound to bring into the Octatrack. Much better than my iPhone videos on YouTube. Yeah, the Prophet 5 is a delicious sounding synthesizer. I love it so much. Those of you who hang out in the EasyBot Discord also know that I'm searching for a Prophet X or XL. Because I think it's the missing link to my studio. And I'm trying to trade my whole mannequins ecosystem for it. The whole thing. I mean, not the 1U thing they have, because that's impossible to find. But you know, the modules that you can buy. Everybody wants them. And I'm not really using them very much, and I've had them for a long time, and I think I would just get a lot more use out of a Prophet X. But some people think I'm crazy. I have 2 mangroves, so I'm keeping one. But okay, so now I'm working on doing a new track, and I want it to have a different tempo, like dramatically. So this one, the tempo is what, 105? Okay, so 107, that's what I did. I did 107 for the next one. That's like not a dramatic change at all. Let's see, we can go into like techno territory. This is a techno. All right. I don't like this bass line though. So one of the things I'm really excited about is there's an expander coming out for the Nerd Sequencer that gives you a video out HDMI out and a USB out, and that's really cool and exciting. Not that I want to plug this into a screen. I wouldn't. I would just continue to use the screen. But I'm excited about having a QWERTY keyboard, because you can get a little keyboard and have that, and I'm pretty sure it would power your keyboard too, so you don't have to get an extra cable for it. And to program this with a keyboard will be lightning fast. I could program really, really complex melodies without feeling the like, oh man, this is a drag. Like doing this like key combo thing, like I'm playing on my like old Nintendo, but with the wrong hand for me, is tedious, super tedious. So, I mean, super awesome, and I love it, and I've had it, and have never thought about getting rid of it. But programming it is tedious, and I did the Sega gamepad to program it, and that is also tedious, however more fun than what I'm doing, but slower. So it's not a trade-off for me. I'm all about faster. I want to program faster. So I think when they come out with the QWERTY keyboard, I'm going to be able to do some really complex programming really fast, and it might actually be like a game changer in terms of working with modular for myself personally. Because if I can like get what's in my head into my sequencer fast, I will do it. But if it's going to take me forever to do it, I'm going to search for something that's faster and I'm probably going to search for something that's a little faster to work with. Because I want to make, I don't know. I like when workflows make sense and when they're smooth. And so when things are really choppy and frustrating, I get frustrated a little bit. Somebody get Easy as X already. Yeah. What's the other mannequins modules have? I have, I have those. Just Friends, Cold Mac, Crow, Mangrove, Three Sisters, and I have W, and I also have a Norns to go along with it. But I'm not getting rid of my Norns or my Crow. And probably not getting rid of my mannequin stuff, because no one's going to trade me a Prophet X for them. So, and that's the only deal. That's the only deal I'll do. Unless someone's like, I'll give you, $3,000, and we're going to do this right next to the store that sells a Prophet X. And then that's how it's going to work. I want that trade to happen that way. Efficiency. Yes, that's the word. Thank you, Null Void. Efficiency is the word I'm looking for. So yeah, I want to program a cooler sounding bass line in this, and I'm using tables for those who don't want to deal with tables. They are really helpful because you don't have arpeggiators in the Nerd sequencer, and we're on a lot of trackers, I think. I know there's one in the Poly-N tracker now. Yeah, Norns plus Crow is really cool. Ooh, Prophet Rev 2. Right on, man. I just sold a Prophet Rev 2, but I replaced it with a Prophet 5. And Prophet Rev 2 is a great synth. Great synth. Good choice. So in the Nerd sequencer, I don't know how well people can see this, but if you go into your tables, you can choose like what happens to notes as they hit. I want to say the word proc. I don't know how many people know exactly what I mean when I say like, this is when these proc, like you'll get, this is like a crit chance that's about to happen, right? It's like super nerdy gamer stuff. But to me, that's what happens. I'm like, these need to proc. And when these proc, they're going to go up an octave or up 2 octaves or down an octave, or I can do it by semitones. So you can design these really weird, you could essentially put one note, let's just do it. We'll just put one note down, the same note. I'll just copy this. Copy, paste, copy these 4, copy, paste. See how quickly I can do this? Like, you can get fast too. You can do it too. Let's put in some gates. And we could put some random gates in. Maybe we should really play with like a generative baseline here. But we'll start with this table I have. We'll start with a new table. Table number 2. Let's go into our table. Okay. So right now it's just tripping. Here we go. So all I've put in so far is F notes. F notes. Which is playing the Dope for miniature synthesizer voice. And this is not just, I'm doing my modular stuff today, so those of you who are just interested in Octatrack, today is not your day. Okay, so like I was saying, I could essentially just use this one note and then go into the table in here and edit my notes here. And this is a little bit more generative. So if I was to add a semitone, okay, here's adding like a semitone. You can hear it. Plus 11 semitones. So now I have only F notes. I only have F notes in my sequencer, but every like 4 steps, it's going at plus 11 semitones. So essentially I could find like, I don't know, just a bass note that sounds good with like the percussion that I have, and then create this weird arpeggiator, make the gates random triggers, and then all of a sudden I have this, kind of reminds me of Orca actually. It's similar to Orca, the way I'm thinking about it at least. Mud terms? Oh. Oh. Wait, what is mud? You guys are talking online games, right? I'm assuming correctly. So we got something now. Let's make this thing a little longer. So now I can go in here and start messing with these notes. Some reverb. Now we're in like techno paradise. Multi-user dungeon, okay. Don't know that one. Okay. I'm liking this. Where's my op? Let's now go like this. Like this. Okay. So if I hold shift and hit nerd, I can go into the pattern length setup. Let's make it 16 notes or 16 steps long. Let's just get some notes going just so we can. This is playing right now the TSL into the Dope ladder filter, so basically like a Moog filter, and it does sound really good. EasyBot eviscerates F minor. Death to F minor. What reverb am I using? I am using the Desmodus Versio, and I have it kind of set up to be like a Blue Sky Shimmer. As that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds similar to the Blue Sky Shimmer. And it sounds pretty good. It's nice when you modulate. It has a little self-modulation knob here. You can turn up the modulation depth, the index it's called. And when you do that, it will like warble the reverb tank. So, which kind of makes me think of Bitwig, which, you know, congrats to us Bitwig users. Bitwig 4.0 is in beta. Really cool. I checked it out earlier. I don't have time to check it out for too much longer because I really need to continue working on this, but we got comping. Yeah. And we got randomization in our, that is really, really cool as well. Nothing like some random and some comping. Bad verb, hot. So we're playing with this sucker. got something going on here. See how it sounds with some sidechain? Yeah. So Carl just said Bitwig's new 4.0 operators are like, they added a bunch of electron sequencer features to the MIDI roll, and I completely agree with that description. I really do. My only problem, this is my own personal problem. I don't mind using the MIDI roll in any DAW, but if I'm going to sequence the way I enjoy sequencing, I like having a sequencer of some sort that's not the MIDI roll, like something I'm putting steps into. And they have kind of a version of that in Bitwig where you can shrink the MIDI roll down to like a selected notes that you've already chosen. So really good for drums, super easy to program drums. But in terms of programming melodies, or I don't know, not programming melodies because the MIDI roll is better for that. But just getting excited about your beats or like some sort of composition you're making, an actual sequencer that's not the MIDI roll seems more exciting to me. But alas, I'm a Bitwig user and I probably always will be. So eventually we'll have something more like that. I'm debating if I want to resub. Mine ran out a few months ago. I've been focusing on my hardware. Well, if there's one DAW besides Ableton that focuses on your hardware, I would say it's Bitwig. It's the most it's the most hardware focused DAW that I know of. I mean, it originally had CV tools, basically, that, you know, Ableton has CV tools. I believe that's what it's called. But Bitwig had that a long time ago for connecting with modular. There's even the ES8 that had Bitwig's logo on it. So like they've been ahead of the game in terms of working with hardware, and Ableton's been trying to catch up. Bitwig's still light years ahead, in my opinion. And but Ableton's great. I have Ableton as well, and I also like Ableton. But I do think if you wanted to integrate a DAW with your hardware setup, Bitwig is the one I would look at, unless you're a push user, because that's fun too. Hey, Silence Caster. Hoping their next version focuses on MIDI and adds MIDI grid, new sequencer stuff. Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm sure that's going to come. They're being very competitive. I mean, it was like Ableton 11 added comping, right? That's what they added in 11. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was such a big deal to me because I'm a guitar player and singer, and tracking vocals is hard. Tracking guitar is a pain. And without comping, tracking guitar and vocals is super annoying to do, especially by yourself. If you have somebody manning your computer and being like, okay, go, you know, that's one thing. But, you know, working in Logic or Pro Tools, comping is like, that's why it's a industry standard. Both of those, they have features like comping, which is built towards recording live instruments. You don't like Bitwig Studio audio integration compared to Ableton? Yeah, well, I don't know. Good night. It's 3:32. Oh, yes. Good night. That is really late. FL Studio, yeah, well, you have no complaints then when it comes to sequencers, because that's all FL Studio used to be. And now I've heard some amazing stuff out of FL. I mean, they're all amazing now. They all have the same potential. It's really just whoever's controlling it. But they do have the sequencer. They've got a one-up on some people with that sequencer. Okay. I get so distracted by talking about gear. How will I ever get this done? I'm going to add the Surface, I think. I think that this plays that sound just like too often. So I will, let's make it 64 steps long. that sounds. Yeah, it is a nice groove, I think. It's like the work of the arpeggiator. Oh, this is the kind of sounds that I really enjoy. When it comes to electronic music, like analog synthesizers and like kind of a driving beat. And like not just not too much stuff going on. That's why I'm going to use the Fracture next. We're already ready to go because it is just the best for making like random. Let's do 16 steps here for making like these random drum sounds because it's just full of all these cool drum samples and it has a little granular engine that works with them and makes it pretty unique sounding. So let's get some let's get a rhythm that we like. So now I'm kind of forced because the LFO is going from the Maestro is going into the Fracture. It's actually, and I'm using that LFO that's going into the Fracture to change the sample that's playing on the Fracture, but because I don't want to unplug my LFO. That isn't a good look for me during a performance and then move the cable like as if you could keep up to do stuff. I mean, you can, of course, but I'm just mean you don't want to. You don't want to have to be in that position. So what could I do to fix that problem? I could use the sequencer to send voltage to Fracture, and then I don't have to use the LFO. That might be the smart move. Or I could just be happy with these kind of like random drum sounds, but they're the exact same sounds that were from the last track. Aha, here's what we do. We use the switch. This is why we have a switch here. So we use the switch. And the switch we'll just switch back and forth from track to track. That makes the most sense. Okay, so we want to go to the surface, which is follow the spaghetti to number 4. Okay, so let's take that. It's coming out here. Number 4 goes in here, and now, let's see. It stopped randomizing. Cool. So now when I press this button, I have a regular Fracture again. Do you love it when things just work out? And actually, I like the way it sounds. Let's just turn the reverb on it. Yeah. Wow, that worked out so quickly too. Sometimes that can be a real bungle. Okay. Maybe we add, oh, we already did that. So let's put 15 back here. Okay. And these ones, whoops. These ones will continue to be nothing. Should put those in here. Alright. So let's just copy this. Paste it down here. And let's add some more sounds. Let's go ahead and make this one. We'll just start with 16 steps just to make it easy on us. So here we are playing with the triptych now. And I think it sounds really fun to just like make these like fast moving melodies. Here we'll have this be like an odd number. Make it 13. Alright, here we go. 8. So let's copy over pattern 7 and bring this over. We can't have this be the same sounding stuff, so let's mess with these hi-hats a bit. Maybe we'll open up the... I feel like I want to do that and then reverse it. That won't work. Oh, that works right there. Turn it up so you can really hear it. Should also probably change out this kick, which means we should change parts. Save all parts. Let's copy that part, bring it to part 2, paste on part 2, go to part 2. Okay, everything's the same, but now we can change our kick. How's this donk kick sound? I am not using compression right now. I'm running it into the analog heat. And I'm not using the analog heat in its pseudo compression mode. I'm just warming it up. So right now I'm just hearing melodies. I don't want to compress like single notes and stuff. Because I want to hear what it really sounds like before I start tweaking with that stuff. But I am very much digging the choice of modules. I have the sounds that I'm using. These are like my everyday kind of sounds, so it's like working out for me really well. What do we want to do here? Let's hear how it sounds with like the sidechain. Let's get some more samples over here. Some more percussive, like hats. There. Okay, this is it. That's great. Maybe while this is like doing the sidechain thing, we could have these drums do something. They're all using filter and lo-fi. Let's do some of the hi-hats. I kind of like that. I just moved the Octatrack over the desk, so we'll see. Still sounds a tiny bit compressed. I think that compression that you're hearing is actually from StreamYard that I'm using, which I can change. See if that sounds any better. So hopefully it won't sound compressed anymore. let's see what happens. Well, after someone tells me if I still sound compressed or not. Let's record a little chunk of this. Not as much? Okay. Cool. Alright. So now... Oops. There we go. That's what I want. So I kind of want to see what it will be like to move from 4 patterns back to here. Let's see. So this is coming from the switch off, the finale-ish of the last one. Oh, it was a good thing? What's kind of cool is that when you move from one song to the next, your last settings from that track, you know, they transition with you, so then you kind of have to like tweak things back into the scope of what you think the next song should sound like, but you have to do it live. Recorded 4 bars of it, so I can. There we go. Okay. So our through. For whatever reason, my through machine trigger got deleted. I guess I deleted it. I don't know. You guys will have to watch this. Watch the replay. See me delete the input. I don't think I did. But I must have. Okay, so we record 4 bars of this. Drum rolls. Okay. Switch over to the recording. Let's move to the next song. We're in the next song now. So I can fade out now. Hey, Octatrack user. Alright, let's do it again. So we're coming from pattern 5. Wait, 1. Are we coming? No, we're in the wrong pattern. This is the finale. Okay, here's finale. This is finale time. This will be the finale. I record 4 bars of this, then we glitch it out and transition into the techno. Okay. Stimming up. Alright, let's reslice it though. Get those 0 crossings. Okay, then we'll go to this or something. Regardless, we're still in this track. Maybe I want to turn, maybe I do want to use it with this one and have time stretch turned off so that the sample will play and give me some time to move over. Yeah, maybe you're right. And with the heavy pumping, it does have a feeling of like, I don't know, completeness, I don't know. It is a good feeling. Okay, let's take this kick out. Move to the next pattern. Gotten further? We have. We've gotten a little further than this. We should save this in just a moment. Now this would be like, you know, like really blow it out. I don't know why that's so goofy to me, but it is. Oh, what a letdown. Just right back to the same thing. Should we do that? Should we use that as like... that loop? The 4-bar loops. Doesn't matter what moment you grab, it sounds good. Okay. Alright, let's just do it. Let's just make the next pattern have some really fast hats. So, 1, 2, 3. So we're supposed to be on 9. Copy, 9, paste. Okay, here we go. More hats, please. Are already panned just the way I like them. Good morning, Anton. I said it like that. Yeah, this is a good sound so far. Record that. Let's make a copy of this. The final element here. Here's the recorded version we're listening to. This one is what? Oh, this is the surface. Okay. Okay. Here's what we need to do. So now we need to use some voltage from the NerdSeq to control the surface's models. If I use some voltage just to bring the surface to a new model of synthesis, it'll be like really feeling like we transitioned to a completely new song. Because if I use the exact same sound from the Surface for the next track, albeit them very pretty and polyphonic sounding, it will sound the same. It will sound to the same that it will bother me. So this is coming out of mod 3, going into model. Model, there you are. Little bugger. You little bugger. Okay, let's just make the sequence really short. Just 8 minutes to start. Okay. All I want to hear is it doing its thing. Do your stupid thing. Right? Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm so stupid. I was playing a sample. Okay, so now we're just gonna use the mod section here. You know when you're doing this, you're just like dumbfounded by the silliest stuff. It's like where'd I leave my keys? You know? It's the same stuff that happens while you're doing like electronic music. You're just like, where did I leave that note? I left a note somewhere. Oops. Oh my gosh, give me a new mod. What are we using the mod for? That's nice, I didn't know that. If you hold shift and hit OK, it like flies you through different sections of the mod. Well, that's convenient. So why are you not changing the level? Let's do it by hand and see what happens. What's up? I'm suck of the night. Not such a long day. Very trancy. The distortion on the triptych sounds so good. Okay, I'm not even using the FX edit at all. This is really disappointing, though. here. So what engine is that? That's the last one. Let's play with that. That's what we want. Copy it again, copy, go to the next one, paste, let's move to the next part. Let's copy this, go to the next one, paste. Let's open up modify this baseline. This. We have so much potential to like let things explode, but I have my 410 sent into like a big macro control to like just breathe into all of the synthesizers, like bring distortion up, bring filter frequencies up, bring decay up. So just like it's like big culmination, and it sounds like this. So it's like a little bit more intense. If you pair that with something like that, it has a lot of potential during a live show, I think. But I should also be nice if when I did that, it told my Octatrack to open my hi-hats further. But I can do that over here, I guess, with 2 hands. Oh, whoops. Let's do this instead. Okay, so this is what we would do here, right? We'd go from this one, 9, from here. Or no, is it from this one? So from 8. Okay, so here's the idea. We're at this groove. We've already gone through the little intro of this new pattern. And we're grooving like this. It's feeling very rhythmic. Thanks for hanging out with me while I write this today. You were here for the whole thing so far. Okay, so let's transition to the next part. Let's make it kind of more of an explosion. So we'll go use the Daft Punk kind of effect here. Could have hit harder. Maybe I'll make like these still have like drum rolls in them. Let's make them all fill. Copy, paste, paste, paste. Let's kind of like, let's use this low pass filter in this. Or no, we should use this low pass filter. So we're back up here. I know. We're still grooving. Save our parts. Let's save the project. Let's be smart. Practice what you preach, right? Save. It's named what the F. WTF. Yeah, I noticed that with the crossfader, I want the kick to hit harder. Yeah. Yeah, me too. I think that's just the synth is turned up louder than the Octatrack right now. Gotta turn the whole mix down a little bit. All saved. We're safe to continue on. Fortunately, I'm actually going about this a lot faster than I will when I'm actually playing the show, because I will take my sweet time with that. When you're playing live, like, have fun turning your knobs and doing all that. That's what it's all about. You can have the same groove going for a while. Nobody cares. People are having a good time. Hopefully they're having a good time. So this is our new spot to be at here. We got this. I feel like it really wants to be on. It really wants to be here. It just does. Maybe we'll do something different for the third song. Vibing. Oh, I'm glad you've been enjoying that too. Let's change that melody. Let's use an arpeggiator. Complex oscillator here. If anybody's been hesitating getting the Qualic Iteritas or the LIP, don't hesitate. It's a digital oscillator, but it is one of my favorite oscillators. It makes every kind of sound. You run it into a good filter with like some little distortion on it, a little bit of overdrive like the Carbon gives, which is why I have the Carbon there. It's really worth it. This is like pretty similar sounds to like playing like with your electric guitar, you know, running it into like a rack or a super badass. What I do like about this is that we are, where are we? We're on pattern 9. I thought we were on pattern 10. We're supposed to be on pattern 10. I'm a genius. I do like that though, so we'll keep that. But we're doing this for snares. Okay, we need something to like really change things up. But like the only thing I can think of is just like going more crazy with the melody. But I guess we could just like drop down to barely anything. Or we could change the envelope on one of these oscillators in the filter so that it has a nice long pad. I really want a Carbon. Well, I don't blame you. They're pretty wonderful. I got a lot done. I do. I have. How long have I been doing this? Why doesn't it? Oh, for an hour and a half. Oh my gosh! I said I was only going to do it for an hour. Okay. Well, I'm done. I have to do some daytime work. Finish editing a video. But thanks for hanging out with me again while I do this and Octatrack and the Modular. I'll be back doing strictly more like Electron stuff soon. I know that's why a lot of people hang out and watch this channel anyway, is to look at Electron stuff, but my interests don't just lie there, okay? But anyway, thanks for hanging out. Join the Discord, yada yada, come and hang out with us. Let's talk about music.